Hi, I'm Oishii. Logging back in online for episode 2 of my commentary series. I'm much earlier than I had planned to be for a number of reasons. The obvious reason is because episode 1 got a good amount of traction, and I do appreciate all of you who watched episode 1 and left me some feedback. However, the main reason I decided to kind of scratch the idea of this series being a one episode a week thing is mainly because of my closest friend. He watched the first video and immediately texted me and told me how much he enjoyed listening to it. And, to anyone out there hesitant on starting something new just because you're not so sure you'll get the support you want, take my advice and don't be. Go for that new job. Start that new hobby, or even start making videos as I have. I had so many friends come up to me being super supportive towards me, especially my best friend. I mean, I know it may not seem like a whole bunch, not that meaningful, I guess. But I mean, his feedback, it brought me to tears. It made me more happy than anything has in quite some time. Anyways, let's get started. Fear. An unpleasant feeling triggered by the perception of danger, whether that be real or imagined. Let's start this a little differently. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever feared something? I want you to think about a certain time that you've been in a state of fear, and we'll get back to that later. My greatest fear is the fear of being alone. And now I don't mean being alone in that moment or for a day or for a week. I fear the thought of being 100% alone permanently. Now, of course, this is impossible. No matter how alone I may feel, I always have the people around me, whether that be friends, family, even strangers. So I can never really be alone. But I can imagine it. I can imagine driving on the road and seeing absolutely no signs of life. I can imagine that after I post this video, I'll walk outside and see not a single person for miles and miles to come. But of course, in reality, if I walk outside, I'm going to see someone. We imagine that we're going to wake up tomorrow or the day after that, or even next week. And although some of us may, there are people living their last day right now. As I'm recording this video, there is someone living their last hours and they don't even know it. Fear can hold us back from many things. But that's not to say that fear can also push us to do more. I fear that I may not wake up tomorrow, and that pushes me to enjoy today even more than I enjoyed yesterday. Now let's go back to that moment that I told you to think about, that moment that you were in a state of fear. How did you respond to that fear? Did it push you to do better, or did it keep you from opening up and moving outside of your normal comfort zone? Whether the case may be, that fear stuck with you. That situation stuck with you. So much so that you're thinking about it right after I'd asked you. Let me tell you a story. It was my junior year of high school. I can't remember the specifics of the project, but I had a project that I needed to present to the entire biochemistry junior class. Now, if you're like me, you fucking hate these types of projects. Like, I just want to work by myself, or maybe with a small group of people and call it a fucking day. But nonetheless, I did the stupid thing, and I sat down in class waiting to present it. Now, I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't scared shitless. I was sweating bullets. Felt like I needed to throw up. I was a hot mess, man. And it got worse each time the teacher went down the list. And to add insult to injury, we went by last names. My last name starts with a C. Do you know how many last names start with a C? Because I can tell you it's not that fucking many. I was one out of two of the people who had last names starting with C, and of course the second guy wasn't there. The fear built up more and more after each name was called, after each person had come up and presented, and it caused me more and more stress. I was beginning to be a real mess. I let the fear impact my work, and although I thought it was a pretty damn good project, I allowed the fear to impact my performance, and because of that, I got a D. Now, I'm not sure how it is in other places, but in Georgia, a D just doesn't exist. It's either A, B, C, or an F. I let the fear of other people's opinions take my A-worthy project and change it into an F. For those of you who have had the same thing happen to you, it feels shitty, no? I mean, to work so hard on something or to be so super passionate about something and just let the fear of other people's opinions take over and completely ruin that for you. Now, to those of you who overcome the fear and rise above it, I applaud you, you know. But don't let anxiety or fear impact you or what you do or what you're passionate about. You're always going to come across something that makes you terrified, but you just have to rise above it. And once you've done that, you'll see that you're better than that fear. And take it from me, you are better than that. Fear is something that can make or break you and your future. So please, don't let it break you. Rise above the fear and show the world what you can do. I'm extremely terrified of the feedback I'm going to get on these videos. And yet I'm still pumping them out. I've learned in my 19 years of life now that, you just can't let these things hold you back. I can't really explain it. It's just like a school project that you've worked for hours and hours, and you've worked on it for days and days. But the moment it comes to presenting it, all of that's thrown out the window. It doesn't even matter anymore because you let the fear take over. Please don't let that happen to you. I'm going to cut the commentary short here, as I would love all of my episodes to be well under 15 minutes. I do want to thank anyone who's tuned in. It really, you don't understand, it means the world to me to have people who actually enjoy listening to me, even if the video is all over the place and I ramble on sometimes. If you couldn't tell, I like to talk, and I'm gonna be heard, Just like I said in episode 1, I have my email set up. I now actually have it set up as an anonymous line, so I can't see your email. That's really the whole concept, I guess. But if you send me an email, I will not get to see your name or who sent it or anything. So feel free. It'll be in the description. My email is going to be in the description. YouTube won't let me use links yet. I haven't posted enough, and I haven't taken a picture of my ID or whatever I have to do to verify my account. But it's going to be typed out in the description if anyone wants to reach out and, maybe have a situation that they've gone through talked about in a future video. And I'll give my opinion and maybe even help you out a little bit. This is Oishii, signing off for the day. Stay strong, stay safe, and I'll see you fellas tomorrow.